Hey, it's Ferry, and I've been getting a bunch of questions about stropping. I learned mostly by Big Mike beating me in the head with a strop and on email and stuff saying, hey, you got to learn how to strop, stupid, because that's the way to sharpen things. And also watching stropping videos, the most valuable ones to me at the time were guys who were sharpening wood chisels, which are single bevel. And then those guys really get those things sharp because of the detail work they're doing. So they were the most phenomenal ones. There's some knife sharpening videos. So if you have a double bevel broadhead, there's a bunch of knife sharpening and stropping videos out there to access. It's always good to use multiple sources of information, but stay tuned. I'm going to show you what I do and my basic philosophy behind it. Some toys, and I'm going to reverse the camera here in just a second and show you the toys that I use to sharpen things, primarily strop, and we're going to assume you sharpen stuff, so hang on. All right, we're going to assume that you bought some kind of a sharpening kit. That's the serious sharpening kit that we have on the Ranch Ferry store. Yeah, self-promoting, but we offer it, so if you want to buy one, that's fine. If you don't, fine. You definitely need a strop. This is the biggest strop on the planet right now, the Serious strop. It's also in the Ranch Ferry store. Like I said before, I might as well offer the stuff to you if you don't own it. So the challenge with stropping is there's 3 blades. There's double bevels here like a Magnus Stinger. Here's the Evolution, which has a low bevel. And then we have the big old beastie tough head, and that one's got chunks on it. That one's been used. So has this one. This one just came in a video, and it's been, successful. All of these broadheads are stropped the same way. And then I'm going to set the camera up differently. I'm going to show you with a couple of props. These guys right here are pieces of wood that I cut off at 30 degrees. And this is 40, and it's easier to see for the idea. So it doesn't matter if it's real low bevel like the Evolution. This is a 60-degree bevel, 2 30s side by side. It's dull because I shot it through a pig and hit the ground. I don't remember what the Stinger's bevel is, and then I believe the tough heads are 30, somewhere around there. Doesn't matter. Whatever broadhead you choose out of this group, it's the same strategy, and I'm going to use my little props to show you what I'm talking about. So hang on. So it's really pretty simple. Strops only work backwards. Most strops have a rough side, which when you first sharpen it, you run it on this rougher side. And then the other side's this smooth, this real glassy slick. That's your finishing finish. Strops do not take steel off. They're just a polish. Now you can definitely get up here and really just be irrational about this, but this is the basic stropping philosophy that I have seen on other videos, and the best I understand it from actually trying to apply what I'm told. If you're a little bit tilted up, this little space right here, see that shadow right there, and you strop, you're only stropping this part of the blade, and it'll make it shiny and pretty, but you'll be dadgum, it ain't short. So you're actually better off if this is a little, still has machine marks on it and stuff, but the working cutting edge is sharp. You're better off with that. So your goal, if anything, from what I've watched and from what I've experienced, you're better to be a little high. You're better to be a little bit with the blade into the leather than you are definitely. This is no good because you're not sharpening anything. You can see that shadow there. So you want to go down, and when you play with your broadheads, if you'll just tilt them back and forth, you'll feel it settle. It takes a little bit of touch, just like anything. At first, you're all thumbs, but after that, if you do, I tell people be a little high, so a little bit into the blade edge where the sharpening occurs, and then go backwards. Medium pressure. Doesn't take a lot, and just go like that. But that's key, is to be a little high on your strop, or dead on. If you can hit it plumb, that's fine. But if you're gonna go one direction, you lean a little bit into the blade edge, the actual cutting surface of the broadhead, because that's what has to be sharp. It can make you happy that the whole face of the broadhead's all shiny and polished, that's fine. But I found that going just a little tilted, when you have something, when the bevel's as narrow as like a tough head, right? It takes a little bit of touch. You'll eventually learn to feel. You take your broadhead and you'll go like this and you'll feel it, and it bumps on the bevel. It's hard to explain other than that, and then you start stropping. That's a little bit angled because the camera's in the way, I'm sorry. But you definitely don't want to be up. You can see the shadow right here. I'm going to change the angle to get over the top of it and show you all that. You want to be down and a little high, if anything, and then go backwards. So now you can see that shadow. You think you're on it when actually I'm riding on the ferrule, and that's what's making me feel like it's plumb, because it hits the ferrule and hits this spot right here, and it feels real square. You see that shadow under there? It's not sharpening anything. You need to tilt the blade up, and that's it right there. See how it meshed with the leather strop? See how high it felt? That I'm on the bevel there, and then I can strop, and I'm actually doing some work. But if I get right here, I feel square because 2 points of contact basically on the other side is touching here and here. But when you're stropping, you want to close that gap, and there you go. Right there, a little high. See how shadow? That's, you're still not sharpening the edge. Right there. And then go down the strop. So again, here, tilt it up, boom, bong. Doesn't matter if it wobbles a little bit, you'll be okay. It doesn't change the bevel that much. Well, it doesn't change the bevel at all. Right there. And strop. So that's how you do it, and that's the basic philosophy around stropping. So I got my glasses on because I'm going blind and I couldn't see when I was doing that part of the video. That's the basics on stropping. That's the philosophy of stropping. Most people would sharpen a broadhead and blah, 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 and all that stuff. But if you don't get that concept down, I can sharpen 400 broadheads and cut paper, and you can say, wow, that son of a gun really gets them short. But you didn't learn the strategy of stropping. You can do it with the Magnus Stinger, you can do it with the Evolution, and then forgot about the 3-blade, but it's pretty simple. I guess I ought to do that. Boring. Oh, one tip I forgot. If you have full metal jackets, just snap one off about this long, because those are the worst arrows on earth, but they're great for sharpening. The hit insert can survive impact of sharpening. It's terrible on meat. One of the worst designs on the planet. So if you have some full metal jackets, you make your sharpening stick. This thing's about 8 or 10 inches long. Makes life easier when you're stropping rather than doing it on a full-length arrow. 3 blades are hard. Go like that and go backwards. And I usually do 1 backwards move per side. It's that difficult. So if you can't pull that off, I don't know how I'm going to help you. All right, like I said, that's the basic philosophy of stropping. You'll have to go learn how to do it yourself. Your first goal with all the broadheads is to get some good sharpening stones, get a burr, knock the burr off. I've covered that with the hunting public and a bunch of other videos that we've done. And then the stropping piece takes it to the next level. What it does is you can get an edge that's really, really sharp, but still a little rough. And it's not super, super sharp at the microscopic level. And when you strop, it'll take all these little crumbs and stuff off that are very, very small on the edge of the, on the leading part of the edge, and take it and try to make it as homogeneous a cutting edge as possible instead of like a chainsaw. So at a microscopic level, if it's file sharpened or done with pretty coarse stones, it might shave hair. But at the microscopic level, it is more like a chainsaw tooth or a saw blade. And what happens is, and I covered this in another video where I actually stuck one through bacon that was file sharpened. That is Big Mike's idea, not my own, but I put a video out on it because he showed me that. And we ran file sharpened, you know, rough stone, maybe sandpaper sharpened broadheads that would almost shave or shave, run them through bacon, and then looked at them on a microscope, and there was bacon bits in the teeth. The saw blade microscopic level, there was actually tissue in there. It's essentially caulking the edge. So wherever those little teeth on there pick up and grab things, because fat and some of the muscle linings and hair and that kind of thing that you hit on impact is kind of mobile. If it grabs it and holds on to the steel, it's caulked. It's not sharp. So you imagine a saw blade and you saw on, say, a deer leg, which we've all tried, and the teeth get all jammed up. It's just like that. And what that does is it reduces your lethality. There's a certain percentage of the blade that's caulked. So that's why you want to have a honed edge. And you want to strop. So that's my stropping video. Pretty straightforward, I think. But once again, so this is all about the philosophy of getting that edge plumb and then maybe a little high so you're actually working on the cutting edge. If you can get it stropped all the way across, I'm not that good. Quite frankly, I'm kind of impatient. And then there's some broadheads that are curved and that kind of thing, so it's difficult to do. Just make sure that the leading edge is as sharp as you can get it. And sharp, 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 when you really learn to strop and really get this right, on other videos, I've used tissue paper. Newspaper is my most common thing because it's easy to get it. People throw them on your driveway or whatever. Just pick them up and use that. It should cut newspaper very cleanly. And then if you really want to work on this and you want to spend time, the hairs on your arm should jump off, not just get cut and lay on the blade. If you can get it to pop hair, literally they jump a little bit. They don't shoot off, and it's not going to put your eyes out. You don't need safety glasses. But you'll see the difference if you play enough. Plus, you look like you got the mange. Because you have all these bare patches all over your legs and stuff, and your wife will be like, you look like you got the mange. But it's cool around the pool when you have a Speedo on, and you've been shaving around your thighs and get some extra spots on there. Woo! One-sided thong, whatever it takes. That would be awesome. Broadhead sharpening dude with the mange and a one-sided thong. Oh, it's kind of terrifying, but I'm a demented individual. All right, that's all. You can hit the subscribe button if you want to, and if you don't, well, all I have is pretty good factual information. You can just go watch other channels where they say, well, that broadhead looks good, just come out of the package, bound to be good. I don't know if it's sharp or nothing, but somebody sent it to me free, so I'm saying it's good. And they shoot the Twizzlers and stuff, so don't forget, look in the banner below if you want to get you a nice Shoot Adult Arrows t-shirt. Go out, offend your friends, wander around some archery shops with that on. God, it's fun. All right, bye.